Shit, where was my medicine? Oh, and we're live.
Oh, and we're live. And
That
did you
was
find
that was fast.
Okay, so I guess whatever issues StreamYard is having is not really having it, or
Yeah.
at least
Or
it's not affecting us.
it's not affecting us.
Right. So did you find your medicine?
No,
Right. Oh,
no.
okay.
I'll have to
Right.
find it after.
Oh, all right.
It's when I get running behind.
Well, that's true. Yeah. You see, that's why you have to stop when Alexa goes off, right? You have to stop telling her to shut up and then forgetting why you set the alarm to begin with.
I have short-term memory issues.
I mean, I've seen you do that so many times that there are times I actually reminded you, hey, you set this alarm for this. Oh my God, that's right.
Oh my
but
gosh.
at least, but at least the title of the show is accurate. We really did almost forgot we had a thing.
I completely forgot we had a thing until I built this StreamYard. Good morning, everyone. It is August 23rd, 2024, and this is the Rage Into the Vlogs. There's this show about stuff.
Right, and everything in retrograde. Is everything still in retrograde?
Everything is in retrograde, and it's Saturn versus another planet. I think it's Jupiter.
No.
So our true selves are supposed to come to light, and what's really ironic is there's been a lot of revelations about people recently, and I've just been like,
oh no.
Everywhere else.
So that's what it's supposed to be, like everybody's supposed to be showing their true selves with Saturn fighting.
I'm not exactly sure, but if I so I'm gonna just pretend like I'm a psychic because that's what you do, right? Yes, that's exactly what is happening.
Oh, okay.
You ready for this?
Absolutely not, but hit it.
Trigger warning. Fuck you.
Yes.
Oh, man. I swear
what a way to start today.
That has got to be like the best disclaimer.
Oh no, ma'am.
We could put up. No?
I got a new one for you.
Oh no.
This is something everybody needs to adhere to.
Oh. Everyone does it. Now you can do it too. Shut the fuck up. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut the hole in your face. Like that. You can do it. Shh. Shut up. And shut the fuck up.
Wow. Wow, I'm traumatized. Oh my goodness.
My wonderful husband found that, and I'm like, he's like, I found this great clip, and I'm like, it's mine.
Right.
It's mine. That belongs to me.
Oh my goodness. So just in case it's like you're watching this for the first time and you don't know what to expect.
Shut the fuck up. And trigger warning, fuck you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. So who's joining us in the chat today? Who's braving the
we
storm
got
here?
Grant and
Hello,
HR and Rob, sorry, the Wolf Daddy.
Good morning. And yes, I see you, my beautiful eyeball people watching us from regions beyond. If you're watching us from Facebook, if you're watching us from LinkedIn, come on over to YouTube, join the sexy people in the chat, keep them company. Facebook has a tendency to act up, and LinkedIn is just LinkedIn. I don't know. Can they even chat on LinkedIn?
They can. They don't say anything.
LinkedIn is
I
see.
Crowd. They watch.
They watch. Because they have to be professional, you see.
Right.
Because watching us is the last thing.
Kind of like when your sister opened my LinkedIn.
Yeah, she was a little, yeah. I don't remember what popped up. She goes, I accepted Nita's LinkedIn thing, and then I don't even know what the first thing that popped up. And she goes, I'm not ready for this. I think it was like one of the ads for, I don't know, it was just one of the ads for something. Kind of.
Yeah, I'm sure it was porn.
Oh, right. Yeah. It was probably like a pinup or something. I don't know.
No, not really.
No, we don't. No. Oh, great.
Exactly. And I'm into
Right.
that shit. So.
Right. Oh my goodness. So hello everyone. My name is Daphne Lage and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. And if you're hearing noise in the background, it is because I live in New York and I am not closing that window because we finally got a break in that heat, and it's like if there's a nice breeze coming in, but the thing is, like, we have to deal with the noise that's coming from outside. I guess someone's doing construction, so we just have to deal with it. So yes, so the window's open. If you hear any noise, that's what that is, along with the parrot. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that means.
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go. I got nothing else.
What? Have a different skill set, another skill set outside of what I do here? Impossible. And I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which returns to Kickstarter later this year with the first trade paperback of the new story arc Tears of the Mother, collecting issues 1 through 4 of this 8-issue limited series. And I am known for my medieval fantasy drama Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which is currently on Webtoons. It premiered on Webtoons on Tuesday. So if you want to read Eagle Raven for free, you now can. She's on Webtoons. And like I said, it updates every Tuesday at 7 p.m. And the first chapter is up, starting the series from the very beginning. So yes, I hope everybody goes over there and shows it a little bit of love. So thank you so much. But you can also read my comics online at eagleworks.com, EGOWORKS, and Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube. There's over 600 videos and live streams and draw streams for you to peruse at your leisure at my channel at Daphne Lage, Lage Art, which also simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. And to tell you more about it, here's Nita.
Indie Comics Network is a channel on YouTube. We have a bunch of creators that get together, bringing you comic-centered stuff pretty much daily, sometimes not, whatever. We're getting back in the groove. So,
Well,
yeah, we're semi-professional.
Right. And where can they find you?
IndieComicsNetwork.com.
It's .com. Cut.
Oh my goodness. So my month continues to suck.
Mine too.
You know what it is? It's sucking and it's my best month at the same time. It's like I really don't know how to explain it, you know. I mean, on a personal level, it's kind of on the sucking side, but it's just because life gets in the way and I have to make sure, you know, things get, you know, I have to do the adulting. That's pretty much what that means. So it sucks in the adulting part, right? But in the comic book part,
in the creative
realm, I am just like, I'm doing rather well.
You're balling.
I'm keeping busy. For those of you who, if you didn't see our last vlog, I made the announcement that Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, all 16 issues are complete in terms of penciling and lettering. The story is complete, and all I have to do is just ink and color it, and then just release it to Kickstarter. So at least that's done. My series is done. Yeah. You know, but just because the series is done doesn't mean the project is done. I currently moved on because I needed to treat myself.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, because what do I do? Because what do I do when I finish drawing? You know, when I finish my work, which is drawing, oh, easy. I unwind by drawing some more. So I'm currently working on an 8-page interlude after which is going to bridge Heir of the First Unicorn with the next story arc, Cult of the Wolf Witch, which is my illustrated novel that continues the series. So I'm working on this 8-page short story, which introduces the gods that will be Eager Raven's foil for the rest of her life. So if you've been waiting for the return of Loki and Eros and Bestie Ishtar, this is the story, and you can get a glimpse of that on my Facebook page. So I'm going to be introducing these characters in the absolute dumbest way possible.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's just an 8-page thing. I'm almost done with it, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's kind of nice to get these characters out. And then afterwards, it's time for Tall Tales. So so the work does not stop. What is it? I've heard this phrase said both ways. It's like no rest for the weary and no rest for the wicked. So I guess either
Wicked
one.
here.
Wicked, right? I think
Wicked.
that the proper term is wicked, but either way, nobody sleeps. No sleep until Brooklyn. Oh my goodness. So the other thing that's been going on is that I would like to thank everybody who has supported the House of Bob campaign. Thank you so much. If you don't know, House of Bob, my first sketchbook collection, Fetish Fantasy, and the return of the remastered Mondo Bondo. They are both sketchbooks of my furry fetish artwork out on Kickstarter right
Fucking
now.
furry fetish artwork.
I know, right? Pornography. It is on Kickstarter right now. The link is in the show notes and in the chat. And I'd like to thank, I think, the 48 people who have pledged over $4,000 to my campaign. Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting that much from a sketchbook collection, but I guess people really do want to collect my artwork. Also, another thing about this campaign that is special is that if you have always wanted to get original artwork from me, whether it's just original artwork or you want to commission something custom, that's the word. Yeah, if you want to commission something custom for you, this is the campaign to do it. I have several levels that have several options as to what you can get if you want artwork from me. Because I usually don't put out an open call for commissions. I'm not really one of these people who does that. So it turns out that Kickstarter is the best way to get original artwork from me. So especially since the sketchbooks are going to be a regular thing. So, probably like once or twice a year. So those are when I'm going to open up my commission list, essentially. Nice. So if you always wanted to get artwork from me, this is the campaign to do it. Links in the show notes and in the chat. Again, thank you so much for everybody who've pledged so far. There's, I think, like 28 days left on the campaign. So there's still plenty of time. But again, I'm very surprised by how this has been going. So thank you again. I can't thank everybody enough for it. Also, the thing that also surprised me from the campaign was that I had to put up a special update because I had several people contact me about the other sketchbooks that I have on the campaign. Now, I do have some now, this is technically not the first House of Bob campaign, but this is going to be the format I'm going to be sticking with for the rest of the collection. I had a couple of false starts a couple of years ago. I've done one House of Bob for Patreon, one House of Bob book specifically for Patreon, and another one for Kickstarter. It's the original House of Bob sketchbook. And I have a few of those left. They're literally the end of the run. They have the Kickstarter with the Kickstarter, the original Kickstarter one. It comes with the print. It comes with the Kickstarter sticker that I originally had with it. There's a couple of sets left if you want to pick that up and add those to your collection. But I've had people going, oh, but what about, it's like, are they available in PDF? Can I get PDFs of those sketchbooks? And I had to put out a special update stating that the only books that are available as PDFs in the is the main book, Fetish Fantasy and Mondo Bondo. All the other books are physical only, and it's just for me to to finish the run, to sell off the
Right.
last of the run on the campaign. However, and I got these yesterday and I want to show these
Yeah.
off. I am remastering all of my previous sketchbooks in the new format so that I will be re-releasing everything on a future campaign. So if you have seen my previous sketchbook, so this is my mermaid collection. So this is my mermaid collection that that is now in the new format. Here is, I think this was my first like pinup work, that I did. I think what was this? 2014. Geez, the year is right there. So this so this is one of the first sketchbooks that I put out. Up until this point, I was putting out portfolios, which probably had like 10 pieces. So this was like the first sketchbook that I put out that is now in the new format. I also have a limited run of the original version of my all male review sketchbook on the campaign. I think I only have like 10 left or something of the original run. But as you can see, I did remaster it in the new format. And this is the original Patreon book, yearbook that I did. So it is House of Bob, but it is the clean version of House of Bob. So I could actually show these on the screen. So this, and also if you notice, if I put them together with the books that I am offering up now, right? So as you can see, so this is what they look like all together, and they're color-coded.
OCD.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, my OCD is going to make me fix the new one. I got to move those over so everything lines up properly. But that's the whole point of proofs, right?
Right.
So, so as you can see, they're color coded. So as you have them on your shelf, so the white books are pretty much your rated G books. So these are going to be your, these are the ones that, like when your mother comes over, oh yeah, check it. It's like, oh, what are these books? Oh yeah. It's like, oh yeah, this is, you can look at this one, The yellow one is kind of like a PG-13. Even though this House of Bob book is pretty much censored, it's still a little on the racy side. So I decided to color code it to PG-13. Right. So black means it's kind of like your rated R books. Right. So that is going to be the Fetish Fantasy and Mondo Bondo.
You're slipping into the darkness, you soul.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There is one more color after this, and that is red. And I have one book and I have one sketchbook in progress that's going to be the first red one. So, so it's going to take me a little bit to finish that one off because I have a whole bunch of other sketchbooks that come before that. So this is what they're going to look like. So these books, so this is what, thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. I try. So these are the books. Yeah, these are the books that are on Kickstarter right now. These two. So yes, they are the black covers, but these 4 books will be available on their own campaign in the future. So you'll be able to get these as a set in one campaign. There's probably going to be like one more House of Bob book that's going to go with this, kind of like the new book that kind of, joins it. So these are going to be scheduled for a future campaign, future meaning sometime in 2025. I just haven't decided when. I haven't really worked out my schedule exactly as to how I'm going to do my Kickstarters for next year. So I have a rough outline, but some things have changed, and I want to make sure that the sketchbooks are definitely on that schedule. So, so yes. So if you are looking to collect more of my sketchbooks, they are coming. They're in upcoming campaigns, along with more options for commissions. I also had some people ask if I could offer commissions as its own add-on, as opposed to having a level. Where you could just buy, like, if you just wanted a commission without the sketchbooks. I told them I would think about it, that I would consider. Right now on this campaign, the commissions are only available as levels, not add-ons.
Right.
So, because there were people who wanted to get multiple commissions, and I go, hold on,
Oh,
you guys are going to keep me busy enough as is till the end of the year. So, let's gauge how that how it works out on this campaign, and then I'll adjust accordingly on the next ones. So,
Right.
am I saying that I am not that the commissions are unlimited so far on this campaign? Yes, I am saying that. So there is, so if you're concerned that if you wait, that I might run out of slots on the on this campaign for commissions, no, you don't have to worry about it. Whatever gets ordered on this campaign, those are the pieces I'm going to do. So thank you so much for everybody for keeping me busy. And and I'm looking forward to seeing how busy you're going to keep me by the time the campaign ends. So that's what's going on my end. What about your end, Nita? So what's going on yours?
Marketing, and Facebook bans.
Oh, again?
Yes. And last night was for nothing. There was like this glitch that anything I posted with a link was immediately taken down. Anything. And then it got where I was sharing memes on my own personal page, and it said it was spam. And I'm like, how am I? And then I realized, okay, something's glitched out. And so I decided to just give it a rest and come back this morning, and it's working well. But in the meantime, I am getting ready to take a trip and all this other crap. And just, it's busy.
Yeah, because now it's like it's the rush trying to get everything done before.
Make sure all my ducks are in a row and everything's taken care of here.
Yeah, because what is it? You have like 2 weeks?
Not even.
Right? Yeah, because you get to New York in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I fly to Jersey on the 3rd, and we have to leave here probably about 3 or 4 in the morning.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not happy about that bumping. But whatever.
But at least you get to the airport, you get it over with, and but oh my god, this year's going by.
And a 5-hour fucking layover in Charlotte. And those are not the tickets I purchased.
Right. They switched everything. They keep switching everything around.
They switched everything around. It was like I was supposed to spend like an hour and a half in fucking Charlotte. Now I'm going to be spending the whole day in the airport. It's like, yay.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, it could be worse, I guess.
Yeah, it could have been Atlanta.
Well, I mean, I would rather be stuck in an airport than a bus terminal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
At least an airport, most of them are kind of updated. So you're able to kind of like just walk around and do stuff and look at the duty-free section or something, you're able.
The good thing about Charlotte is Charlotte literally is split in half. Like there's a whole bunch of terminals on one side, and there's a fucking mall.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the airport.
Yeah. I was surprised at how big Charlotte was, because I was on my way back from Miami, and what happened was that there was something had happened on the plane. We were in the air for like 2 hours already, and then the pilot had said something about how they had to turn the plane around back to Miami because there was a maintenance issue, right? And what happened was that someone on the plane heard the word maintenance issue and had a full-blown panic attack.
That's why I don't even listen. I just put on my music. If I'm going down, I'm going down.
It's like, it turns out maintenance issue is not the thing you want to hear.
No.
When you're 30,000 feet in the air, right? So originally they were supposed to turn us around to go back to Miami, which was just like, oh my God, it's like we're like a little halfway
We're
to New
almost
York.
there.
We're almost there. Because what it was, it was something, because in the end, it had something to do with the de-icer, right?
Oh,
And
yeah,
that
we had those issues.
LaGuardia would not allow the plane to land unless that was taken care of. I don't remember whether the weather was cold enough, but it was an issue. Like, even if we did continue, LaGuardia was not going to let us land. So I guess that the only option they had was to turn back to Miami. But because of the guy who had a panic attack, it now turned the situation into a medical emergency, and they ended up rerouting to Charlotte instead.
Oh, shit.
Which was the American Airlines hub, which worked out because it was their hub. All they had to do was grab another plane from a hangar and we were good to go. It's just, it was going to take a little bit, but that is a goddamn huge airport.
It is. It is. And every single time, I shit you not, except for this time, because now I get to spend the whole fucking day there.
Right.
My flights that connect are usually under an hour.
Right.
And it's like, and I swear to fuck, it's always I get off or I land at Terminal A, but my fucking flight's at E, which is after the mall and then DE.
Yeah, like it's so big. They have literal times. Like, to these gates, it'll take this
35 minutes to
30
walk
minutes
here
from this point. And usually, and then the dumbest thing is, like, what's infamous about Charlotte is that, yeah, it's like it takes 30 minutes to go from one end to the other, but your connecting flights are usually like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
Fucking
so it's like there's
there.
absolutely no way you can get to the gate in time, even running. It's like it's not going to happen.
I've missed 2 flights leaving from Charlotte.
Yeah. You know, but it's like, but for us, luckily, because of the situation, you know, we were able to kind of like be a little leisurely going to the gate, you know, but still, though, you know, it was just because they were just gonna take everybody on the news.
Oh, yeah, it was. It had to have been too cold up there or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Because remember, my flight was delayed
Oh,
out of Baton
January.
Rouge because the ground was frozen here.
Yeah,
And that never happens.
Yeah, it was something like that. So Charlotte is like, yeah, but I would rather be stranded in Charlotte Airport than like in a bus station or something.
Oh no, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, right. But so for the past couple of weeks, right, there's this topic that I have been trying to keep to memory because I've been trying to talk about it, but you know, it's like we missed like 2 or 3, you know, 2 or 3 shows, and you know, and it's like, and it's just like trying to get back on track with that. So there was this thing. So I'm part of this private group, and you know, there was like by this point, it was like almost a month ago. There was like a couple of people who were kind of asking similar questions around the same time, but the gist of the questions were also, like I said, it's like the questions were similar, but the gist of the question was also similar, right?
Right.
So both times, both of these separate creators, I don't know who they were. They were just asking, you know, it's like,
doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, in the end, it doesn't matter. But the both of them asked variations of, would you buy my book at X price? Right? Oh. Like they were asking that, would you buy my book at X price? Now, the funniest thing is that whenever I see, as an artist on the internet, right, when I see a question like that, I always get flashbacks to like when artists would ask, would you buy this as a print? Would you buy this as a shirt? If I produce,
and everybody says yes, and no one shows.
Right, exactly. And it's like I always get a flashback to that. It's like, yeah, it's like then it's like everyone says, oh my God, yes, I'd so buy that. And then you go through the expense of making the print, the shirt, the whatever. And then when you finally offer it up,
and
it's
not
crickets.
a motherfucking sale.
Right. It's crickets. Nobody buys it. You know, so it's like, hey, where were all the motherfuckers who said that they were going to buy this, right? And it's like, oh, that was then, you know. Money right. Something like that, right? So this is kind of like a variation of that, because it's like, I answered both these people. I like I said, I forgot like specifically what questions they were asking, but in the end, what they really wanted is like, it's like, it's like, would you buy my book at this price? What's the average going? It's like, what is the average cost, cover price for a book in your local comic book shop or something like that, right? And for both.
Wait, they're trying to go comic book prices on Kickstarter? Like,
well,
comic
that was like they were wondering, like I think like one person was wondering what the average cover price for comics were going for right now.
Right.
I don't know if I'm confusing with somebody. And then the other person was trying to figure out how to price their book. But the problem was with both of these is that they were asking the question without providing any details about the books that they were offering. Like, because in the end, it's like, well, look, you're not saying if it's a trade paperback, you're not saying if it's a comic, you're not saying how many pages it is, whether it's in black and white or in color. I mean, you can't just say, would you pay this much if I don't know what I'm getting, right?
No, for sure.
So, so after, but the thing is, with the information that I did have, right? What I answered the guy was that what I answered the post was that it's like, look, regardless of, like what the details that you're not mentioning, right? You don't ask your audience how much they would pay. You have to price your book according to how much it costs for you to get it done. Right. And it's like, because it's like, we're POD. And then that kind of like, brought up a couple of things, like I said, especially since both people were kind of asking the same question.
Right.
And it's like, one, you can't compare your POD book to what's getting sold in a comic book shop.
No.
Which is going through major publishers. This is where the mainstream books hang out. It's like
mass distribution.
Right, exactly. So it's like you can't compare what you're doing on a much smaller scale to what these companies are doing in a comic book shop, right?
Right.
Because it's like, and even like asking, well, how much would you pay? And I go, look, how much I would pay is actually irrelevant to how much did it cost you? What is your print cost on that book? How many are you printing? It's like, are you printing offset? Are you printing POD? And even with offset, it's like if you're printing 1,000 books offset, your price is your printer price is not going to compete with what Marvel is able to offer, because they're selling they're printing hundreds of thousands of books, right? So it's like they're getting a different markdown. They're getting a different print price. There's a particular word I can't remember right now. They're getting a different print price from their printer than you are, even if you're using the same printer. You're printing 1,000, they're printing 100,000. They're going to be spending significantly less on those books than you are. So you can't, so it's like it's apples and oranges in terms of how you price your books. You price your books, you price your products according to what it's costing you to get that thing made, not what. I mean, people like to consider Marvel and DC their competitors. They're not. No matter you as an indie creator, you're not even a blip on their radar. No. Okay, they are not your competition. Marvel and DC, the mainstream is not your competition, and you are definitely not theirs.
Indie comics is mom and pop shops,
right? So
it's boutique bitches,
right? Exactly. It's like it's like a mom and pop cannot price their stuff according to how Walmart prices. It's impossible. That's why they always got out of business when a Walmart moves in, right? So it's the same thing with comics. You, as an indie comic creator, cannot base your decisions on what Marvel and DC and Penguin Putnam and all these other companies, distribution companies, are pricing their books. It's the whole thing that we were talking about, like, why is manga so, you think kids would rather buy manga because of the price point, because these are put out by large companies that can afford to make those price points.
Right.
Even if I were to print up Eagle Raven as a manga size, I think I'll be lucky if I'm able to price it at $12 like a standard manga, and still make money on that, because of the volume, the lack of volume that I'm producing, right? But this kind of like had me thinking about, like, this seems to be a very pervasive problem where it's like Kickstarter is not your local comic book shop.
No.
So you cannot compare the two. You cannot say, well, if people are buying books for, like, I don't know, $5.95 at your local comic book shop, how can I expect them to buy my comic at $10 plus $10 shipping? Easy. You don't. You don't compare the two, because you can't. It's two different markets. So it's like what Nita said, Kickstarter is a boutique. This is a boutique, and we are not in competition with mainstream sales. It's like you have someone like Polito, who, he has Lady Death in comic book stores too, but trust, he's not charging Kickstarter prices in comic book stores, and he's definitely not charging comic book store prices on Kickstarter. And also he's not offering most of the same things either. I don't know if he does like kind of like a comic book store version, where it's printed differently or something. I don't know if he does that. So it's like, so what you get on Kickstarter is what you get on Kickstarter. I don't know how much he makes that distinction in what you buy, but trust me, it's not the same experience buying Lady Death at your comic book shop as opposed to buying Lady Death from him on Kickstarter. It's two different things. And the thing is, though, it's like, oh, he breaks them up into single issues for the shops, right? So you're getting something different. It's done different for the shops, which probably allows him to lower the cost, of it, so that it can compete on the shelves there. But Kickstarter and your local comic book shop, you should never think of them as the same thing, because they're not. And I was just a little surprised at seeing so many people in this group. It's like, like kind of like things like, oh, but I have to compete. And it's like, no, you don't. You can't. That's already you competing with the mainstream has been off the table for decades. There is no competing, right? And like I said, it's like, because we're mostly using POD, like I said, even if you get your stuff offset, you're not printing hundreds of thousands of copies of your copy. You're maybe printing 1,000. Maybe if you're fortunate, you're able to print 3,000. And if you're not fortunate, you still have them in your basement. But the thing is, right? Yeah,
for the apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly. All right. When we fight the zombie hordes, we'll throw comic book boxes at them. So the point is that our pricing should reflect our costs, how much it is to produce it, how much did you pay to get the artwork done. It's like the whole thing. It's like, that's what you base your pricing on, not what the customer is wishing you would cost.
Right.
That is not a consideration. That should never be a consideration, right? I hate to put it this way. I because it's like,
no, you don't. Just say it.
Broke motherfuckers are not your audience.
Woo.
So you should not be depending on them to determine how you're going to function as a creator. I told you it was kind of harsh. It is kind of
I'm
harsh
a
to
broke
say.
motherfucker.
Right. But here's the catch though, Nita. It is very obvious you broke, but you don't have a problem buying the stuff that you want.
No, I'm broke, but I'm broke because of comics.
Well, so
I have an
so
addiction.
well, so but here's my point with that, right? One, do not gauge your pricing on what people wish your item would cost. You know, because
Right.
this is also another thing too, where it's like, oh, well, you know, it's like, oh, like my book, you know, it's like by my book, you know, it's like, how can I compete with the local comic book shop? Or oh, I have this tchotchke. How am I going to compete with what it
You're
sells
not.
for? You know, like,
You're
oh,
not.
well, when I was buying toys at Toys R Us, I was buying toys for like $14, but it's going to cost me $14 just to manufacture my toy. How I'm going to make my toy affordable, and or my book affordable, or my tchotchke is affordable, my plush animal, you know, affordable, or my statue is affordable. And the thing
Right.
is, you don't. Right? When I buy a toy on Kickstarter, the shit's like $80. Okay, I'm not this. These are definitely not Toys R Us prices,
No.
right? Like, oh, I just got a. That reminds me, I just got a tracking number from my werewolf toy that I
Finally.
bought.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I finally got a
God.
tracking number for that, so I should be getting that next Thursday.
Nice.
So yeah, and I paid like, I think with tax, it came close to like $100 for this toy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, this is not something I would have bought in Toys R Us, you know, and if there was a Toys R Us version of this toy, it would not look anything like what I just spent almost $100 for. You know,
That's fucking fire.
you know, I mean, I'm looking forward to it because it's like, because it's long
Reasons.
paid for. Yeah, it's long paid for because I bought that a long time ago. It's just
Right.
finally shipping. You know, just like I bought like the Dungeons and Dragons toys, right? So I think Mattel had released their own version of the action figures
Right.
for Dungeons and Dragons. I skipped on those because I didn't like the sculpts very much. I didn't like the paint or the sculpts. So I just waited. And then it turned out that Super 7 is coming out with their own line of the exact same thing.
Nice.
So Super 7 has better sculpts, they have better paint jobs, it's just a better designed toy all around. But the difference is you're paying more for it. I think
Right.
where the Mattel versions were like $30, per toy, I'm paying double that. I think
Right.
these toys are they're like $60 a piece. So they came out with Hank, Sheila, Dekion, and Shadow Weaver. I'm only getting Hank and Sheila. I only want the main characters, right? And on top of that, they had a Tiamat, right? They had a Tiamat, a vinyl Tiamat. The shit's like this big. It's like
Holy
$500. I think it was like $400 for the Tiamat. I skipped on that one too. Didn't need the Tiamat. So I just bought the Hank and Sheila. Yeah, I'm paying a little over $100 for them, but you know, treat myself. But I'm getting the better toy because of that. I'm getting the better product. Even though the other versions were less expensive, I want the better product, right?
Right.
So you know, so in the end, it's like, you know, but this is also kind of the other point that I wanted to make with, you know, like broke people are not your audience, is that a low price does not guarantee sales. Right. It was something that Tom Hutchinson had said on one of Jose's shows, where he says that he had never seen anybody get excited over a Kickstarter campaign because the price was low. You know, it's like nobody goes on Kickstarter to find bargains. Okay. This is not a Job Lots. It's Kickstarter. So a low price does not guarantee sales. However, if a person really wants your book, they will pay a premium for it.
Well, we've also seen a certain creator did try that, where he was charging, I think, $3 to $5 for physical fucking copies. I mean, shipping was still separate,
Right.
and that dude pretty much disappeared. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because in the end, it's like nobody is on Kickstarter like that.
It was unsustainable.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like because it's like, one, the price is probably not covering his POD costs.
Nope.
Right. And the thing is, though, it's not having something inexpensive on Kickstarter is not an incentive. In fact, it's a disincentive. Because it's like, well, if I wanted to, it's like, especially for the price, especially for the price of shipping, why would I pay $8 shipping for a $3 book? Right?
Yo.
But they'll pay $10 shipping for a $10 book. I mean, it's bizarre. If anything, Kickstarter it's like a psychological experiment, right? It's like a psychological experiment as to what the audience will tolerate. But here's the thing, your audience, the stronger hold you have on your audience, actual fans, when you have actual fans on your campaign, they will tolerate a lot from you as long as they're getting what they want from you.
Right.
Because it's like your actual fans will not argue or question about your pricing, whether they can afford you or not. Your actual fans will not argue with you. Oh, this is too expensive or whatever. Your actual fans won't do that. If necessary, they'll buy a PDF.
Right.
Right. But they will not argue with you. At worst to say, oh, I'll catch you on the next one. I've had people do that, and they do. They catch me on the next campaign. My last Eagle Raven campaign had a lot of people catching up. Oh, hey there. Had a lot of people catching up on my previous campaigns, but they caught up with it. The whole point, it's like, okay, I can't catch you here, but I know you're going to be releasing it again. You have another Kickstarter coming up. I'll catch you then. And I go, bet. That's the whole point, right? So nobody who really wants your book will complain how expensive it is, right? But here's also the converse. Just because you can get somebody to buy your book doesn't mean they're a fan.
Huh.
Because I'm thinking about like all those pressure sales, right? That I've fallen
carnival barking and
the carnival barking sales and everything, right? When I go to conventions, that's why I don't like walking the artist alley, right? Because I feel bad because I know what it's like behind the table, right?
Right.
So I feel bad, and I sure you got my money, but you don't have me as a fan. Right. So in the end, it's like, what does my $5 do for you at that point?
Right.
Because when you release your next book, I'm not there.
No, but your $5 is $5 right then. And that's the mentality of a lot. And that sucks.
Well, yeah, because I think, well, I got your money. And it's like, yeah, but you don't have me as a fan. So what does that do to your longevity? Right. So just because you can convince somebody to buy your book doesn't mean that they're a fan. It's the people who come back that are your fans.
Right.
Not the one person you got to buy your book. No, it's the person, Yeah,
because I have literally thrown $5 down just to be able to walk away without being like, shut the fuck up.
Right. Yeah, so have I. That's why I don't do that anymore. So it's like, so like I said, it's like I'm trying to like put these thoughts together, right? Yeah, especially with the cost of tables.
$5 be $5.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, thank you so much. We try. Like I said, we try. In the end, I could only hope that we're offering something that you find of entertainment value. And this is the thing too, right? Because it's like, look, what we're offering is entertainment, and especially nowadays, entertainment is a luxury. You're offering a luxury service, right? You're not selling food, you're not selling beer, you're not selling pizza, you're not selling Coke, either or. It's like you don't need it, like those things don't really need to convince you whether you need them or not. You need them or not. The worst beer will always outsell the best comic. So you can't it's like you can't compare. The sales are not the same, right?
Right.
So people who don't buy your books, right, will go like it kind of like an either or direction. I've already said that they will either buy your book on the next campaign. I'll catch you later, right?
Right.
And your real fans will catch you later. They'll buy your book later. Or they're just people who say, oh, I'm not going to pick up your book. I think it's a little too expensive, or this, that, and the other thing. I can't, it's not in my budget right now. When people actually start doing that, might actually be just low key saying that they don't think your book is worth it, but they don't. They want to be polite about it,
right?
Because like I
or
said,
it's just not their bag. I mean,
right? Exactly, right. So, because like I said, people who are your actual fans, people who actually want your book, they'll figure out how to buy your book. They'll figure out how to get your book.
Right.
Right. They don't complain to you. Look, even at conventions, to my face. It's like it's like if they're saying, oh, I'm just looking around right now. It's like, oh, I'm in a budget and blah, blah, blah. It means that your shit didn't make the cut.
Right.
Because I have never had to tell that to anybody. If I want your shit, I get it. I don't have to tell anybody. The only time I'm telling people I'm walking around is if, again, just being polite. And it's like, you don't have what I want. So, I'm not, I don't want to be a dick, but, So, yeah. So at conventions, like we've had people say that all the time. Oh, I'm just looking around first. I'm just checking this, that, and the other thing. The people who are interested, usually they just, oh my God, give me that. I want that. Right. When I'm at a convention and I see something I want, ooh, give me that. Right. At worst, it's like, okay, I'm going to have to check my accounts, then come back. But you know what? I don't tell that to the person I'm going to buy from, right? That's something I keep on the DL, and then I come back and right.
All right. In this case, yeah, no.
You know what? It's like, look,
especially because this is coming from Australia, so this is going to be $180 book. Yeah. PDF.
Look. It's like, look, but that's my point, though. If it's something that I want, I'm going to get it, whether it's 23-page book or not. If that's what I want and that's what I'm willing to pay for it, that's what I'm going to get.
There better be titties. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here, and like argue and like, this is not, what is it? It's like, this is not a Turkish market. It's like, oh, well, I don't know. And this, and
what do you got? I got $2.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, this is not what this is. Right. And also, speaking of Artist Alley, like I said, high pressure sales. Actually, I have to thank Nita for this comment, for this thought. High pressure sales are just a Band-Aid on a wound that is lack of actual audience.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Because like I said, just because you can convince me to buy a book, you can pressure me to buy a book, doesn't mean you made a fan.
Right.
Okay. Maybe you got my $5 and it'll help go pay for your table, but you're still, in the long run, you're still not accomplishing what you really set out to do.
No.
Because then the next time it's like, because then next time.
I feel charitable sometimes and we'll do it just to help with table costs.
Because you know what? Because the next time I'm at that convention and I see you, I'm going to make sure I skip.
Ducking. I'm steering. Yeah. I'm steering clear. Boy, I had me a map at MegaCon. By day 2, I knew exactly where to go and where not to go, and to avoid like 4 fucking tables in particular that were just like so high pressure sales. It's like, bruh, like they had a map.
Right.
A fucking literal map drawn out to avoid people.
Right. So when it comes to crowdfunding, right, our actual audience as crowdfunded creators, because in the end, that's the majority of us. Yeah, maybe you'll do conventions, but if you're making a majority of your sales on crowdfunding, right? So I'm making a majority of sales on crowdfunding. My audience are the people who can afford what I can do, what I do. They're the people. My audience are the people who can afford my books through multiple campaigns.
Right.
My audience is not the people who wish my stuff is cheaper. because that was also something like a long time ago. I've had that circle of cheap people
Right.
that I would try to cater to, you know, you know, that I'd try to cater to. And it just seemed like no matter what I did, I was never cheap enough. But here's the problem, though. You can never be cheap enough to people who don't want to pay anything.
Right.
Right. So I got to a point where I had to cut all those people off, because not only did they resent having to pay money for my work, no matter what I did, it was never good enough.
Huh.
On top of it, you know, it's the whole, oh, the food is awful and the portions are small type of thing, right? You
But
know,
I ate it all.
right, exactly, right? So there came a point where I had to realize you are not my audience. I can't, I can't, I would rather wait it out for people who can afford what I give them than try to cater to people who in the end just don't want to pay for anything. Right? Because in the end, there is a difference between frugal and cheap, but if they're not buying your stuff, the difference is negligible, right? So with that comes with like the $5, right? It's like, oh, well, I got your money, right? But the thing is that all eyes on your books are not equal. It's the reason why I don't run Facebook ads anymore, because I learned that too. Not all eyes are equal, right? Just because Facebook can say, it's like, oh, 80,000 people looked at your ad, doesn't mean these 80,000 people had anything to do with wanting to buy my book. You know, it's kind of like, oh, it's like Zombie says, how many fans buy books, do you think, because they're actual fans or just feel obligated because you bought theirs? Ooh, that's a tough one.
I think those numbers are actually coming down, though, because
Right.
there was a point in time where there was a lot of backer for backer amongst creators.
Right. It was like the same $20 going around.
Right. It was the same 20. It was the same like fucking $10,000 just doing this.
Right.
And eventually we learned that doesn't do anything. So that's kind of stopped. But as far as pressure, you don't know the ratio.
Right.
Until you see the trend of your growth.
Right. Because the thing is, though, a fan is a fan, regardless whether they're another creator or not.
Right.
The difference is, the thing is, and we've said that in the past, it's like you don't want to cater to other creators, because there's, as much as they can be your fans, there's not enough of them to support your projects. That's why you have to look at your outside audience. You know, so it's like you don't want friends and family and other creators to be a bulk of your sales, because that's unsustainable. You can't truly grow on that. You know,
another reason why issue ones give a lot of false hope, because not only do you have the issue one collectors, you have all the friends, family, and other creators that have been there watching your journey, and they're there in the beginning, but then they can't afford to keep coming back.
Right, exactly. Eventually your friends and family's like, well, I supported you in the beginning, now I don't need to do that anymore.
Right.
And honestly, you shouldn't have friends, family, and other creators as the basis of your audience. No. You literally need to create an audience that's outside of that circle, which is the harder part, right? But the thing is, though, like we've spoken about before, the myth of the cold audience, right? If somebody is not interested in your work at all, there is no convincing them to buy you and support you.
No.
Right? So there is no cold audience. Actually, that's the audience you don't want. What you want is an audience that's already warm to what you do. You know? So it's like, I am not going to sell Ego Raven to somebody who's a diehard superhero fan.
No.
Doesn't matter. You know, it's like 99.9%. Is there a chance that maybe I could find somebody that has a dual interest? Yeah, maybe. But I cannot waste my time trying to break through a wall that most of the time I'm not going to. It's like, imagine it says you also want to make sure your fandom are people who buy comics. Fantasy fans aren't necessarily fantasy comics fans. Very nice.
Exactly.
This is an issue I find in the hip hop community. Lots of talk, not lots of sales. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's like, then you have to find your overall niche and then find the niche within that. Because yeah, it's like I'm trying to expand to novel readers, right? Problem is, do novel readers buy comics?
Some.
They'll buy, some. They'll buy novels with cartoon artwork on the cover.
Right.
But does that mean I can sell comics to them? Two different things, right? So yeah, you kind of have to really like even when you do find the niche you belong in, you still have to keep digging until you find the audience that, and you know what it is? You'll find your audience the less effort it is to sell to them.
Yeah.
You know, I've mentioned this before. Is that the more you're in front of your audience, the less you have to market to them. It's kind of like counterintuitive when it comes to marketing, right? So it's like, if you're fighting so hard to get your audience to pay attention to you, most likely than not, they're not your audience. If you have to fight to get them to pay attention to you, they're most likely not your audience.
Right.
And that's why like these marketing books, the first question they ask you is, who are you selling to? Right? Who is your avatar, your audience avatar? Who is this like imaginary version of your audience member that actually buys your book? You know, it's like you create this avatar that you're going to base all your marketing on. And it's like, and those are the people you have to find. And once you find them, what you'll realize is that they will continue to buy your work without you saying anything. You just release it and it's like Polito.
And there's a much simpler way than all those marketing strategies. You want to find who your audience is, you start here.
Right.
Right there.
Would you buy your own book?
Right.
Because honestly, it's like sometimes I see people talking about their books and I'm like, you don't even come off like you don't even come off like you would buy your own book.
Well,
would
some
you
won't.
buy
Some
your
are
own
just
book?
creating IPs.
Right. It's like, would you buy your own book? And then it's like, why? What it is about your book that you want? And then realize you're not the only weirdo who wants your book. Right? So it's like, you know, it's like I said, I always say that I do my books for myself, right? I do Eagle Raven for myself. I do Tall Tales for myself, but I cannot be the only person who enjoys this stuff, right? So my trick is to find the people who will like my book exactly the way I made it, because I like it. I would buy it. This is the book. I made this because this is the book I want to read. I wanted to read.
So where are the people I should be hanging out with?
Right, exactly. So the trick is to find those people, because once I see a book that is similar, that is in my wheelhouse as to what I'm interested in, you don't have to say any more.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to pitch. If I'm at a show and I say, you don't have to say a word. Oh, just give me that. Just give me that. That's all you have to do, right? And then, of course, the next level to that is to create enough of an interested audience that they sell the book for you. This was also another thing that I kind of had stuck in my head, where it's like the average person doesn't want to hear you talk about your book. They want to hear the people around you talk about your book.
Right.
Right. I could sit here all day long at a convention on Kickstarter going, yeah, my book is great and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, oh, you're going to enjoy it and this, that, and the other thing. But in the end, it's like,
Facebook people, we are not seeing your comments. They are fucking chatting us up on Facebook, and we are not getting their comments at all.
No. Sorry, Facebook. You see, that's why we tell you to come over to YouTube.
Right,
Why
right.
not say, oh, so you went to Facebook to see what's going on?
I glanced over because I noticed we didn't get one comment, which was odd. And it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, they're chatting this up. So sorry, guys. StreamYard and
Oh,
Facebook
I'm
do
so
not like
sorry.
each other.
We're missing out on the cool Facebook comments. But you see, but that's why we tell everybody to come to YouTube, you know? Because at least we know on YouTube we can see your comments. We're
Right.
guaranteed to see your comments. See, Facebook acting up. I told you at the beginning of the show, right? So, yeah, the whole thing about like it's not you that has to sell your book; it's your fans that have to sell your book. Because
Right.
it's like, I'm not interested in a creator saying, oh, this is the greatest book. Of course you're going to say that. Just like your mom is going to say you're the greatest. What is it? There was a thing, John Waters. There's a little video. And the only thing that I could remember about it is that you have to have people like your stuff other than the person you're fucking and your mother.
Owie.
you know, if you're going to sell a project, right? So I don't want to hear what your mom has to say about your book, what she thinks about your book. I don't want to hear what your girlfriend or your boyfriend is saying about your book. I want to hear the people who actually bought your book. That the average person, that's why that whole social proof thing is so important, because people, they already know you're going to say, oh, you're the greatest writer or something. You're the next coming, right? They don't want to hear that from you. They want to hear that from the people around you who is not your mother and the person you're fucking. You know, so it's like, so marketing is really tricky in a sense that you know you're on the right track when it gets easier to sell your stuff. You know, it's very counterintuitive.
Right.
But unfortunately, that's kind of what it boils down to. You know, when people say, well, how do I know I'm doing this right? Are you fighting? It's like, how hard are you fighting to sell your book? If you're fighting to sell your book, you're on the wrong path.
Right.
You know, you're in the wrong audience. You're not facing the people you need to face.
And we're not saying it's not hard work.
Right, exactly. You know, we're just saying,
don't confuse the two.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're having to browbeat people to get your book, you're talking to the wrong crowd.
Right. Stop chasing people who will never be your fan.
Right.
Right. That was the thing that I learned a long time ago. It's like,
because guess what? A cold audience is a dead audience.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. You know, you have to find the people who are already receptive to what you're offering.
I'm the next comics messiah.
Right. Yeah. No, it's like,
rise, buddy, and read my shit.
Right.
No,
yeah,
that's not how it works.
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, so it's like, yeah, it's like, so yeah. In the end, that's what we're saying. It's not easy. We're not saying it's easy. What we're saying is that when you're in front of the right audience, it gets easier. Oh, how does one sell a $10 comic plus $500 book?
I know, right? Look, dude, the only suggestion I can make is maybe reach out to some publishers in the States and see about getting versions of your book printed
right here.
Yeah.
Also, doesn't
and there's also you can also reach out to RJ
from
Critical Blast, who does international shipping. I mean, he charges, but it'll in the end it'll be a lot less.
Right. Yeah. Because he has a whole system set up where it's like either he
gets your books in and then he distributes them throughout the US.
Also, I think he prints them too. Like he'll print them in the United States.
I'm not sure about that. He may. And if he doesn't, it might be something he'd want to look into.
Right. You know, but, so it's like, you would have to, there are places, there are people that you could talk to about that. Either definitely talk to RJ, definitely, at Critical Blast, because I know that he specializes in that, in mitigating the shipping for internationals.
And possibly printing.
Yeah. So definitely, because also that's another option too. That if you can get printers in the United States, but you would have to get them to ship it too. So you would have to kind of
But
get
if
like
you
a
did a
logistics thing.
combination,
Yeah.
like fucking print here and have it shipped directly to RJ.
Right.
Like
And then
there's
he'll,
ways to
yeah.
cut cost.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know it's like I think
Such
like
pain
the
in the
last time I quoted an order to Australia to send like 2 books was like
$80 fucking dollars.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, it's like, oh my God. Like I think like to send just one floppy was started at like 35.
Jeez, man.
I mean, yeah, for real, you know. Which is why PDFs, you know, are such a good thing to offer, I guess, until you could mitigate that physical copy thing. But yeah, but that was kind of like the thought that I was trying to hold on to.
This is another thing. That too.
Yeah, what postal service are you using?
You could try pirate ship. There's a whole bunch of ways to fucking cut corners and costs internationally.
Because sometimes those individual companies get their own rates.
Right.
They negotiate their own rates. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just let's see. Oh, there you go. Jim says about 40% of the books I've gotten lately have been fulfilled by Critical Blast.
Same.
Yeah, same here.
RJ's excellent.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like, so stop chasing people who will never be your fan. You know, there is not amount of browbeating that will turn them into a fan. Just because you get their $5 out of them doesn't mean they're a fan, and it doesn't mean that they're going to continue coming back. Your fan are people who come back. That's the whole point. They come back often, they spend money, they don't bitch to you about, because look, people who are really mad about you, about your prices, they don't buy your stuff.
Mm-mm.
That's it. They just don't buy your stuff.
Right.
Let's see. It's like, if selling indie comics is just about the money, get a job. Easier ways to make money than indie comics.
Yeah, there's prostitution. You can sling dope. There's all kinds of stuff you can do to make money. And it's a lot easier.
You could work at Chipotle. I swear to God, I think that here in New York, you can make more money working at
Deal with
Chipotle
illegal
than
firearms.
selling indie comics.
Make meth.
Well, I was thinking more of a low-end retail.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever floats your boat. Pickles fancy and all that.
Yeah. So people who want your book do not need to be coerced or convinced. Like I said, when I want something, I just buy it. I don't need to hear your pitch. I don't need, sometimes all you have to say for me to like already look in your direction is, I got unicorns. Really? Do you? I literally bought a book sight unseen because the author told me there's war unicorns in here. Gimme.
Oh, done.
Gimme. I have the book. I just have to get to it to read it. But I bought the book just for that. The second she said war unicorn, I was in. Right? So, it's a romantasy and it has unicorns in it. Here.
So take
you
my
don't
money.
Say no more. Say no more.
Money.
You know, yeah. So it's like, it is imperative you get your project in front of the right people. You need to know your audience, right? Yeah, you got to be careful with that. You need to know your audience, and the more you know your audience, the less you have to market to them. Like I said, it's very counterintuitive. Marketing is hard work, but if you do it right, it becomes easy. But the thing is, like, to go back at the beginning, just to kind of reiterate, Kickstarter's a boutique. You are not competing with what you used to buy at Toys R Us. You're not competing with what you buy in your comic book shop.
Nope.
You are to price your items according to what it is costing you to manufacture and make a profit on it.
Right.
Okay. If you know, it's like, please, it's like, do not have, it's like, you know what? You are not the savior of the economy. Okay. Your toy, your comic, your plush animal, you are not going to save the economy by pricing it, by pricing it comparatively.
All you're going to do is crumble your own business.
Multi-million dollar businesses. okay,
Yep.
which are now owned by billion-dollar conglomerates. There is no competing.
Nope.
Okay, it's like your book has to cost a certain amount. Your toy has to cost a certain amount. There is no, oh, but I want to give a break to the little guy. Then wait when you have leftovers afterwards. Sell
Right.
your book, sell your toy, sell everything the way you're supposed to sell it. If it has to be $10 plus $10 shipping, if your toy has to be priced at $80 plus, plus another $15 shipping, it's like your plush animal, whatever your plush animals is, your tchotchkes, your this, that, and the other thing. You have to charge what you need to charge for them, sell them on Kickstarter, and then if you have leftovers, if you have leftovers,
Be charitable.
you can
hand them out to the homeless.
Yeah, you can be yeah, exactly. You can worry about selling your leftovers at a discount afterwards.
Right.
Right? It's like, because trust me, when you still have a basement full of them, you're going to want to be giving that shit away anyway. You're going to be almost wanting to do that. So it's like, be charitable afterwards.
Right.
But you have to make your money now. You have to watch out for you now, because if you just out the gate are trying to cater to people who don't want to spend money on your stuff anyway, you're not going to last very long, because these people are not going to support you. They're not going to be there for you, and you're not going to be able, and every sale
and you're wasting your time on them when you could be seeking out potential people who are actually fans and actually interested.
Yeah. Because all they're going to do is distract you from what you need to do.
Right.
Yeah, your audience is not cheap people. Cheap people are not your audience. Broke people are not your audience. I mean, I know. I know. I'm just trying to stress this. It's like, because if it costs you $12 to make a toy, you do not charge $24 for it or something. It's like, if it costs you $5 to make a book, you can't charge $4.95 for it.
They try though.
Do that. I've seen
we have, and there are good people with good intentions, but guess what? They failed as a business, and they have either disappeared or left people pissed off because they were unable to fulfill. And there's a whole bunch of nonsense. You have to.
Because it's like, because Jose bought. Yeah, can I ask Jose, how much did you pay for that toy from Tom Hutchinson? Right?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, I paid $75 for it,"
which is reasonable.
I go, right? And it's like, okay, so I paid $80 for 2 plushes from Rob.
Yep. Speak of the devil.
Right? Yeah. But plushes are $40 plus shipping. Right. I paid $40. Yeah, sure. If Toys R Us, bless its soul, was still existed, right? Yeah, I could buy plushies there for $15.
Right.
Jesus Christ, you go to a carnival and get like a $5 plush or something. It's like, but that's one.
If you know how to handle balls, you can get them for free.
Well,
just saying.
Throwing
balls.
The little
that's what I meant.
Bottles. The bottles.
Yes.
The bottles.
Right.
Yeah.
Knock the bottles over.
Right. It's like, yeah. So it's like, I could have gone to friggin', I know that if I go to like the dollar store, they probably have plushes there. One, not the same thing. And it's like, no, I want Rodney. I want the Rodney plush. I want the Voodoo Rodney plush. I want both Rodneys. I want to take Rodney to Monsterotica and make it really uncomfortable.
It is. It's already uncomfortable. Thank you.
I want to take Rodney to a convention
about werewolf fucking.
I'm gonna make a little badge for him so everyone can say, "Can you sign my plushie?"
Oh my god!
Oh my god! So yeah, so I pay premium for that experience. Oh my god!
Yeah, we probably should go.
I think so too. I think that's a good place.
I gotta go get a haircut.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. And I got some stuff to do too as well. Luckily, my drama is at a minimum today. So but yeah, but at least, so yeah, so this is what I was trying to remember for the past like 3 weeks for us to talk about.
It was a good show.
Yeah, so sorry to everybody who was commenting on Facebook. I did not know that we weren't seeing your comments at all. But that is why we tell you to come over to YouTube. And while you're here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell whenever, so you get notified whenever any of our shows go live. This is why we say that, because Facebook be acting up, right? Oh, I'm sure we missed a lot of good comments too. But, we're sorry about that. But that's why we tell you to come over. So, any final thoughts, Nita?
No, buy shit.
Buy shit. Buy the shit you like from the people that you like, from the people you want to buy stuff from, I guess. Right? That's pretty much the moral of the story, right?
That's it.
That's it. So if you want to learn more, actually, again, thank you everybody in the chat who were able to join us. Thank you so much and all your comments. Thank you so much to all the beautiful eyeball people who are watching us from regions beyond. Oh, that probably explains why I didn't see any hearts or smileys either.
Right, man. They're
because
not
usually
I'm buried. I'm on restriction. That's why we're not seeing Facebook comments.
Oh no!
Yeah, I got a porn flag.
Oopsie. Oh well, but we appreciate all of you anyway for trying.
That's what it is. Okay, because I was
right.
like, man, StreamYard's being a dick, but it's not StreamYard, it's me.
Right. Well, you see, so there you go. So there you go. So thank you so much to all our beautiful eyeball people who stuck out with us anyway. Even if we couldn't see your emotions on the screen as well, just the eyeball. Usually we get to see hearts and thumbs, but oh well, we missed out.
Hold on, we're gonna go test that theory.
Oh, okay, because I'm not seeing.
Yeah,
no, we don't see anything. Yeah. Oh well. So again, thank you everybody for joining us. And okay, now I can start my outro. If you'd like to learn more about me and my artwork and my upcoming campaigns and my current campaigns and all that fun stuff, you could head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites. But I mostly post to Facebook if you're interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress updates. And remember that you could also catch me here on YouTube as well for all my videos and my semi-weekly art live streams Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. It's 2 hours of me just drawing and chatting, whatever conversation we want. A lot more freeform than this, if believe it or not. Whatever you guys in the chat want to talk about, we usually just end up talking about it. I've had to skip several. I mean, if I'm lucky, I will be able to stream finally this upcoming Wednesday. So hopefully, hopefully that'll work out, depending on what appointments that I have. If not, we'll just start again by September. I should be cleared up with most of my nonsense back here, and then we will be able to start again in September. But when I usually do a live stream, it's on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. Kind of like being at a convention without worrying about blocking my table. So it works out for everybody.
And no monkeypox or COVID.
Right, exactly. Also, you can read Ego Raven, Air the First Unicorn for free, uploading every day, Monday through Friday on my website. Also on Webtoons. Ego Raven is now on Webtoons, uploading every Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Each chapter uploading then. So the first chapter is up right now. So if you want to read Ego Raven from the beginning, you can do that on Webtoons as well. So you can check that out there. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the link over to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can catch up on the latest story arc, Tears in the Mother, which is also currently uploading Monday through Friday and will return to Kickstarter later on this year with its first collected trade paperback. So, one more thing though, just a reminder that Jose Calderon's Dreamweavers is on Kickstarter right now. If you enjoy a more like a superhero, urban fantasy, paranormal, like the weirdest combination of themes that you can get in one book. Dreamweavers is it. The story of four friends who, when they go to sleep, can bring their role-playing characters to life and turn and end up as unofficial superheroes, saving the day from demons trying to cross into our dimension. So Dreamweavers on Kickstarter right now by J.D. Calderon and Matthew Lunsford, the guy that we worked with on Tenchi Muyo and La Blue Girl and Demon Beast Invasion. This was the original book that we printed back in 1992 along with Tall Tales. It's been remastered in full color with new lettering. And if you really enjoy 80s style anime and manga, this is going to be really nostalgic for you, and I know you're going to enjoy it. So head on over to Kickstarter. Link is in the chat and in the show notes. So thank you so much again. I see Nita bouncing in her chair, so let's get the ancients out here. What do you have to say? It's eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work, because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you all next time.
I gotta pee.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.